In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
I'm a gun owner.
Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk.
I don't think that guns are scary things.
Visit us online at www.guntalk.com. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, back to Gun Talk.
All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in. Tom at guntalk.com is the email. Over on Twitter, I'm at GunTalk. You can follow me over there. We always have conversations going over there. And frankly, it becomes the news feed, the aggregator site, if you will, on everything about guns, gun products, gun stories, gun rights, self-defense stories, just a continuous flow of that. If you'd like to stay informed, just follow me on Twitter, where I am at GunTalk. One of the things we love to do is bring new people into the shooting sports, and a lot of them come in and going, where in the world do I start? I have no idea. This is a bewildering environment. And if you've been in shooting for a while, you kind of forget how much you had to learn. For a lot of us, we started very early in life and picked it up. But, I mean, it's just crazy. The calibers, the guns, the shooting, the technique, the shotgun rifle, handgun, semi-auto, revolver, on and on and on. There's just so much out there. Not to mention just how do you get better? How do I become a better shot? Well, there's a brand new book out that I think will help with an awful lot of that, written by a guy who absolutely knows what the heck he's talking about. Chris Cheng, the author, joins us right now. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Hey, Tom, I'm doing great.
Listen, you wrote this new book, Shoot to Win, Tips, Tactics, and Techniques to Help You Shoot Like a Pro, you being, of course, the winner of Top Shot show on television and a top competitive shooter. What motivated you to do this book?
So, when I won Top Shot, for those of you listeners who aren't familiar with my background, I was a self-taught amateur who, I learned how to shoot at an early age, but I didn't consider myself really good. But when I auditioned for Top Shot, I obviously needed to train and get to a top tier, competitive level. And so all of the things that I learned and trained for to win Top Shot are in my book, Shoot to Win. And, like you're mentioning, there's just so much to learn when you are new at any sort of activity. And what I wanted to do in the book is just really simplify things and focus on core marksmanship fundamentals and, really inspire people to get excited about learning something new.
When you designed the book, when you're writing it, and now when you look at it, who is the target market? Who should be reading this book?
Yeah, great question. So if you've purchased, if you're one of the thousands and hundreds of thousands of new gun owners in America over the past 2 years, we've just seen gun sales just spike through the roof. Right. You should definitely take a look at Shoot to Win so you can learn how to shoot and safely store and operate your weapon, because a gun's not going to do any good if you don't practice with it. But even for advanced or experienced shooters, one thing that I've realized is that every time that I find something wrong with my shooting technique, I will always go back to the basics and the core fundamentals. And more times than not, that is where the problem lies. And so this book is really good even for experienced shooters who, want to have a reference point on the basics. And one of the big things in the book that I talk about is introducing and covering these fundamentals in a different way than what I've seen in other
exactly.
books. And
yeah,
and so for me, this is about connecting stories and experiences from my time at Google. When I worked at Google, I played a lot of baseball when I was a kid, and I'm a musician, and then obviously competing on Top Shot and trying to relate these concepts in a sort of a cross-functional way where skills I learned at Google, I applied to marksmanship and vice versa.
Well, exactly. And one of the things I enjoyed about your book when I'm going through it is it is heavily illustrated. It's very easy to understand. A lot of pictures, a lot of explanation. And some of it, as you say, is pretty simple, basic, and then you take it and bring them up to a little bit high speed. But I want to circle back to something you said because I want people to fully understand this. I don't care how good you are or how fast you shoot or how high you score. Ultimately, all there is the basics, right?
Right, absolutely. And knowing your stuff, I mean, if you don't know the basics, you can't build off of, you don't have anything to build off of, right, unless you have that good foundation to start off of.
Exactly. You start with this, and then you get faster, but all you do is you apply the basics, and you do them faster. You apply the basics, and you get better. But it's funny, because you said that, and I hear at gun schools, they say the same thing. Other sports and experts in every other sport all say the same thing. You know, it's when the NFL has a problem with a team, what do? They say, okay, guys, we're going back to blocking and tackling. We're going back to the basics. We all do that. And if you're ignoring the basics, you're actually ignoring the foundation. And if you don't have that, you got nothing.
Right, exactly.
There's something else about your book I wanted to mention. This book would be perfect for someone who is a shooter who says, I have a friend who wants to get into shooting, and I'm not sure if I'm able to present the information in a good way. You give this book to your friend, and you then use it as the basis for going out and shooting. I just think it'd be a great, I don't know if you call it a primer, a guide, a structure, maybe that's the word, of bringing somebody into the shooting sports.
Yeah, and so this book is definitely, perfect for that. I've been selling a ton of books lately for friends who and fans who are giving them as Christmas gifts or birthday gifts, or just their shooting friend who they haven't maybe shot in a while, but they're giving them my book as a way to say, hey, I want to take you back out to the range. Let's go shoot, and all the lessons that you learn at the range, once you go back home, you can take a look at Shoot to Win and reinforce all those learnings in the comfort of your own home.
Exactly. The book is titled Shoot to Win, Tips, Tactics, and Techniques to Help You Shoot Like a Pro by Chris Cheng, Cheng. Now, it's available both in printed and in ebook version, right?
Yep. So if you want to go to Amazon or iTunes, I'm also selling copies of the book at my website, topshotchris.com.
TopShotChris.com. We have it at guntalk.com. You can do it that way. A lot of ways to grab it. Chris, you've done a great job. I congratulate. I don't know how time to do this with all the things you're doing, with all the shooting you're doing. I don't know how you had time to complete a book, but I'm glad you did because you did a great job with it. Well,
thanks, Tom. Yeah, it was such an exciting experience. This is my first book. I'm super proud of how it came out, and there's just been a lot of industry support for the book as well. The NSSF YouTube channel, we're releasing more than 20 videos, instructional videos to complement the content in the book. And so listeners can check out the NSSF YouTube channel as well.
Sounds great. Chris, thank you so much, and we'll see you at another match somewhere down the road.
Awesome. Thanks a bunch, Tom.
All right, take care. All right, if you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We're going to get straight to you. If you'd like to be on hold, if you'd like to be on the air, give us a shout. We'll run you through as fast as we can. 866-TALK-GUN. Oh, and if you just landed here and you're thinking, guns? They're talking about guns? I hate guns. Well, call me. I'll put you up in the front of the line. You can explain to me, and look, I'll give you the floor. I'm not going to shout you down and cut you off. You'll have the floor. We'll have some fun. 866-TALK-GUN.
Long-range shooting is challenging and fun, but most precision rifle bullets aren't right for hunting. Nosler's AccuBond LR long-range bullets are designed specifically for hunters. They combine the incredible on-game performance AccuBond bullets have delivered around the world with incredible long-range properties. High ballistic coefficients make for bullets which shoot flat and defy the winds. The sleekest, flattest shooting, bonded hunting bullet ever designed. Nosler's AccuBond LR. For more info, visit nosler.com.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Alien Gear Holsters, the most comfortable and concealable holsters on the planet, offers big savings with our new 2-holster combo. Buy 2 complete holsters for as little as $49.88. Choose from any available holster style for the guns of your choice. Alien Gear holsters are made right here in the USA and include a 30-day trial, forever warranty, and free shell trades for life. Visit aliengearholsters.com.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Successful hunters know big bucks move early and late, often when it's too dark for common scopes. When that monster steps out, you might see him through the scope, but the crosshairs disappear. All that work and you can't take the shot. But with the Trijicon AccuPoint scope, you'll get the shot. Its bright aiming point glows in daylight or darkness. No batteries needed. AccuPoint scopes are water resistant and nitrogen filled, feature multi-layer coated lenses for the brightest image, and you can adjust brightness of the aiming point to match the conditions. Adding 10 or 15 minutes to each end of the day can double the magic moments when the trophies move. You can't hit the target if you can't see the sights. Trijicon AccuPoint scopes. Check out the different models at Trijicon.com or call 1-800-338-0563. Brilliant aiming solutions from Trijicon.
Stay connected with Gun Talk. Download the Gun Talk app for your smartphone and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Gun Talk Media and at youtube.com/Gun Talk TV. Now more Gun Talk.
All right, back with you. We got folks lined up, and you can join us, of course. Just dial us 1-866-TALK-GUN or just 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. Line 4, Dave's with us out of Kansas. Hey, Dave, welcome to Gun Talk.
Yes, sir. I just have a quick question. Earlier you were talking about the availability of AR-15s has become lots easier or cheaper.
Cheaper, yeah.
Does the designation AR-15, is that a brand name or is that just like referencing a lever action or a bolt action or a... When you say AR-15, what do you mean? Aha.
Okay. I'm glad you asked because sometimes we kind of work on the assumption that people know, and you know what happens when you assume. It's not like a lever action. Lever action is a type. The AR-15 is a specific model of rifle, and it's more like a 1911 pistol. It's a specific model. And in this case, Colt... It actually was invented, came out as Armalite. The AR stands for Armalite. Some people think it stands for automatic rifle, but it does not. It stands for Armalite. And then Colt got the contract, and Colt has made the M16s and the M4s forever and ever. But many, many, many companies make AR-15 rifles. Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Mossberg, Remington, Bushmaster, DPMS. If I had 5 minutes, I couldn't name them all. There's so many of them. So when we say AR-15, we're not talking about a specific brand. we are talking about a particular type of rifle. The semi-auto looks like an M16 type, but it's a semi-auto version of it. And we're talking about you can get an AR-15 that's a Colt. You also can get an AR-15 that's a Smith & Wesson or a Ruger or a Bushmaster or a DPMS or a Stag. Stag probably may make as many AR-15s as the biggest companies out there. It's very interesting. So that's what we're talking about. Does that help?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So shop hard, shop for price, for brand name, for features, because there are like a gazillion different features you can get on these. Just kind of get yourself acquainted with it. And I guess I'm guessing that if you're asking the question, you do not own one. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Are you thinking about getting one?
Well, yes.
Well, why not? Yeah, I can just tell you this. I was reluctant when I got into the AR-15 world many years ago. I was a bolt-action guy. Once I started shooting them, it's kind of like you're going, boy, what a dummy I was to not have paid attention to this. These things are so much fun. And shooting .223, there's almost no recoil, and now the .223 ammo is pretty cheap again. I would encourage you, if you have the interest in it, go ahead and do it, and just figure when you buy it, get yourself at least a half a dozen magazines. And, it doesn't have to be the last one you own. And, in fact, the other thing you may not understand about ARs is they are infinitely customizable. So once you get one, it can become anything you want. You can put longer barrels, shorter barrels, all kind of doodads and things on it. So basically, dive in. Come on in. The water's fine. You would love it. And I appreciate the call, Dave. Chuck is on line 1 out of Texas. Chuck, you're on Gun Talk.
Tom, about a year ago, you were asking us what kind of guns we would really like to see. And, of course, I called in begging for a Ruger LCR in 9mm. Well, now we have them, and I'm ecstatic. Santa Claus has arrived. So my next wish list is for one in 40 S&W. I am a firm believer in small revolvers for backups. There are things that a small revolver will do that you just can't do with anything else. And if you can get it in the same caliber as whatever else you're carrying, man, that's, frosting on the cake. Well, but I would love to see them bring out a 40 S&W with the moon clips and the LCR and maybe the SP-101.
Well, actually, they've got one that's better than that out now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called a 357 Magnum.
Well, but we're looking for the commonality. If you're carrying a 40, pistol, then
come on. Wait. Let's back up. If you're carrying a 40 caliber pistol and you're going to carry a revolver as the backup, what is the likelihood you are going to run out of ammo in your backup gun and then now have to get ammo from the magazine from your 40 semi-auto that you had with you?
Well, it's not so much a matter of running out. It's just that you have only one type of ammo that you have to mess with. You don't, if you're reloading, you don't have to reload for more than one caliber, and you don't have to worry about mixing stuff up, like dropping a 20 gauge in a 12 gauge.
Let me tell you my thinking on this is that, number one, it probably can't happen because the 40 is larger diameter, clearly. Then I don't think they could get 5 rounds into the cylinder of an LCR. You start making it bigger, now it's not an LCR. The other thing, and I'm just going to circle back to it, is the 357 is a much better caliber than the 40. For stopping power, I would take a 357 over a 40 every time. Not that it statistically is going to make a huge difference, but I love the 357, so then I can shoot 38s in it when I want to. I see where you're coming from, and I understand that, but sometimes you have to embrace the complexity because sometimes making things complex makes them fun because it just gives us more stuff. And, us, we're all about the stuff. Chuck, I appreciate the call, and I don't think you're going to get a 40 in the LCR. John's on line 3 out of Nevada. Hey, John, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. What you looking for here?
Well, I've got an old Winchester collection. It was my grandfather's, my dad's, now it's mine. I need to know what are the differences between a 307 and a 308 Winchester. They're both lever action guns.
Well, I'm familiar with the 307 Winchester, which most people are not. That was essentially a rimmed version of the 308. Now, are you talking about shooting a regular 308 Winchester in a lever-action Winchester saddle gun?
Well, yeah, I have both.
Okay.
And I have a lot of ammo for the 307. I've never shot it, but I didn't know what the differences were as far as reloading or specs on both bullets.
Well, the 307 is generally loaded a little bit lower pressures. You need to check the loading manuals on that. You're going to have a little bit lower velocities. It has a rimmed cartridge, of course. And I'm not sure what rifle do you have that's chambered for the lever action is chambered for the 308?
Winchester.
What model?
94.
A Winchester Model 94 chambered for the 308 Winchester.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm behind the curve then, because I was thinking 30-30, but I didn't, because the 307 wasn't that. Trying to remember, when did they stop making the rifles for the 307? That had to be 20 plus years ago.
Oh yeah, well it's been quite a while ago. You try to find any ammo for it, you're out of luck. Most people don't even know what you're talking about. So.
Right. And they had the 307 and they had a 356, and I think they chambered that in the Winchester Big Bore, they called it, the rifle. So I'm a little bit unsure as to if we're talking about the exact same thing. If you're talking about the straight 308 Winchester that we shoot in bolt-action rifles and then AR-10s and such, that's, I believe, a higher pressure cartridge. But again, I would just go back to the loading manual, check the loads there if you're going to be loading. They're not the same. I guess the most important thing is to say these are not the same cartridge. You don't load them with the same charges. Make sure you're loading each one as though it is its own separate entity. Don't imagine that they are the same thing in any form or fashion, and go from there. I wish you luck with it. You can do a little internet searching for the 307 Winchester. I think it was introduced in 1982. Didn't really last that long, mainly because there was no reason for its existence. Not that stopped any of us from buying things. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, let's talk about comfortable holsters. We're all looking for that. This is Gun Talk.
One of Talker Magazine's 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. You're listening to Gun Talk, heard every week at this time on great radio stations across America. Stay tuned. Gun Talk is coming right back. Covering all aspects of gun ownership every week on this fine radio station. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, if you're on hold, John, Bruce, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you. Dan, don't go anywhere. We're going to get back to you in just a few minutes. But first, I want to talk about holsters. If you carry a gun, as I do most of the time, I'm tempted to say all the time, but that's not true. There are a few times when I don't, but those are pretty rare. You know, and we've talked about this before, that carrying around a 1 to 2 plus pound chunk of steel, plastic, metal, whatever it is, sometimes just isn't comfortable. And if you carry it all day, and I do, then you really know what I'm talking about. So we are forever chasing this holy grail of how do I get more comfort in my holster, in my rig, in my whole thing. And so what do we end up doing? We end up going to smaller, lighter guns, knowing that we're giving up some ballistic advantages, but we're saying, well, I want to carry something that's comfortable. Well, joining me right now, some fellow who said, well, there's another way to approach this. Let's try a different tack. Chris Tedder joins me right now from Comfort Holsters. Hey, Chris, what have you guys created here?
Well, hi, Tom. It's a real honor to be on your show today.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I mean, I'm looking at what you're doing, and I'm just kind of scratching my head and thinking, that makes stone cold sense. What is Comfort Holsters? What have you guys done here?
Well, we've created what we like to call here is the high-tech hybrid. We've looked at materials, and we've decided to pull in some of these modern materials that we've been creating over the last couple of decades and get them into our holsters.
Okay.
And I guess the real history is, looking at the way I carry is I always want to carry a big gun. But I want to be able to wear an inside the waistband holster for, getting that weapon out quickly and concealment reasons. But I seem to always revert back to a pocket carry revolver because I just, when I'm sitting in my car and that holster's digging into my back, I'm not happy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We end up going to smaller and smaller guns because in many cases it's just difficult or not comfortable to carry a big gun. So you approach this, you said, well, let's just make the holster itself more comfortable. What'd you put on this thing?
Yes, sir. Well, we use a lot of materials. We use gel, suede, a full Kydex shell, and, leather, and we kind of blended it all together to make a holster with a small footprint that's easy to carry all day long. And it really is just easy to carry all day long. And there's just a lot that has to be said about gel because if you look at the way it distributes pressure, nothing on earth can touch it. When you're looking at Kydex and leather, they're great materials, but when you want something between you and something hard, that gel pad is really going to be optimal for you.
Okay, well, what is gel? What are you talking about?
Okay, well, for instance, if you were ever in an ambulance ride and you saw an EMT helping someone out on the side of the road, a lot of them will carry a little roll of gel, and this thing is just 2 or 3 millimeters thick, and they can roll it out and lay a 200-pound man on that, and he's going to be comfortable while they're working on him down there. Gel is just, it's a new material that really isn't that new, but as far as using it in something like a holster, it is new. And if you compare it to, some foams out there, it's still going to be better than just about anything that we found for using to distribute the pressure.
Well, now, a lot of us, everybody has seen the commercials for the shoe insoles with the gel in it. Is it kind of like that? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, sir. We have people comment on our Facebook about gelling. They see the commercials about Dr. Scholl's and the gelling, and it's very, very similar to the gel you're going to see inside your shoe. And that's that's basically what brought us in that direction because we said, okay, if a gel insert in your shoe can distribute the weight of 200 pounds evenly and makes your shoe 10 times more comfortable, let's try that on a holster. And let me tell you, Tom, it works. It really does.
Well, it makes sense. You just put it, it's on the back of the inside of the holster. Let's say the back of it, the inside, the part that's against your body. Is the gel actually against your body?
Yes, sir. Well, what we do is we wrap it in suede, and then that is adhered to a full Kydex shell. And it is not going anywhere. It's permanently attached. And, another thing is we wanted to use a full Kydex shell because, it has a lot of great qualities. It's sweat-proof, it's very fast on the draw, great retention, and it's very reliable. That retention does never wear out. So we found a way to attach the gel, and we wrapped it in suede. And, we also wanted to incorporate a small footprint in the holster design because looking at it from our perspective, we say, I don't want to grab that big holster and put it on today. I'm just going to grab my little revolver. Well, we figured if we found a way to make this extremely small, people would be more likely to grab it and put it on than if it was a bigger holster.
Okay. So, all right. So let me ask you the obvious question. I'm sure you get this all the time. You're talking about suede and gel. How much thickness does this add to the whole package?
It is a little bit thicker than your typical leather Kydex hybrid. Okay. But an interesting thing that we've done is we found a way to actually conceal the holster at least as well as other holsters, and we feel better. We call it the cling tab, and what we've done is on our Bentley series holster, we've got a leather tab on each side, but on the rear side by your grip, it's twice as thick and very rigid, and as you tighten your belt up, that pulls that back clip in more than it does the opposite clip. So your grip will actually follow that clip into your body.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And you'll actually feel the grip of the weapon on your side, and that helps you know it's not going to be pushing out on your shirt.
So it's not printing. So what I'm hearing you saying then is you can put it on, you can cinch it up tight, but because of the gel, it's still going to be comfortable. So of course, if it's tight, it's going to be tight against your body. It's not going to print, but you're not giving up the comfort by doing that. How in the world did you come up with this?
Well, it took over a year and just dozens and dozens of prototypes. And, some accidents along the way turned out to be, real enlightening on how to make certain features like the smaller footprint and the clean tab come into play. And on our Jaguar series only has one clip on it, so we don't have that same clean tab. But what we do is we move that clip as close as we can to the grip without interfering with your hand gripping the handgun, and you'll find that it actually conceals very, very well, too. Because if that clip is in the middle of the pistol, it's going to be pulling equally on both sides of the pistol. But if that clip is closer to the hand grip, it's going to pull that hand grip a little more than the other side of the pistol. And we found that our holsters are very concealable. And that's one of the things that people like to tell us all the time is, I'm shocked at how well this conceals better than my other holster, my old holster. And they didn't expect that with it being, a tad bit thicker. And when I say a tad bit, it is a tad bit. We use 3mm gel, and that's up against the Kydex with a little suede wrapped around it. And it's really, you're not really going to notice it being thicker.
Right.
And with
you're just going to notice it being comfortable. You sound like a guy who got tired of getting poked and prodded by your holster and decided, one of those guys said, I bet if I just work on this, I can come up with it. It probably ended up being harder than you thought it was going to be, didn't it?
Oh, yes. It came to me one day. I was trying to figure out a way to make that holster more comfortable for me to wear. And what came to me was, well, let me glue some memory foam onto this thing. And that was thick, Tom.
Yeah, really thick, yeah.
That didn't work. But, looking at all the material we had available, we eventually said, well, this gel just works out perfectly. But, you can't just use any gel. We had to find the perfect gel that was waterproof and thin.
Right.
And, of course, being waterproof, it's sweat-proof. And what we've come up with is a product that we're very, very happy with. And the main reason is we're giving people out there another option to carry when they normally wouldn't carry. And, that's why I designed it in the first place, was to give myself more options to carry inside the waistband.
All right. Now, we've got the website, comfortholsters.com, and they can go in there and see. It looks like you got more than 100 different guns. You've got holsters for and different models, and they can just see the whole deal. That's clearly going to be the place to go, Comfort Holsters. Yes, and you might just mention the guarantee you have.
Yes, sir. Well, we do have a lifetime bumper-to-bumper guarantee. If you ever have a problem, send it in. We'll replace it or repair it for free. And we also offer everyone a 6-week buyback guarantee. A lot of people are nervous about trying something new. We want to take that completely out of the picture. And I'll just let you know that almost nobody returns these. Everybody wants to hold on to it when we send one out. And, I didn't mention earlier, Tom, but if anyone sees or they don't see their weapon on our website, they can send us an email, and if it's on our list that we are trying to add shortly, we'll go ahead and bump that up if it's on our list and try to get one out to them. And we do have a strong focus on customer service, so we try to answer all emails in a timely manner.
Okay, and I see here, I'm looking at my notes, you decided to give a 10% discount if anybody enters the code TOM on the checkout. That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir. We'd like to thank you for having us on the show and thank all of your listeners. That's 10% off. So, good for quite a while into the future.
Very good. It's comfortholsters.com. Go in there. You can buy it risk-free, 10% off if you put in the code TOM, and get yourself a truly comfortable holster. Chris, I just got to tell you, this thing just looks way cool. Congratulations, man.
Well, thank you, Tom.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate that. We're always looking for a better way, and looks like you've been working one up here. All right, everybody, we'll come back in just a second. By the way, it's comfortholsters.com. Don't forget, go ahead and put in your order. It's risk-free. Money back. Go buy it back. Get it for 10% off. Throw in the word Tom. That'd be me. And when you're doing the checkout. 866-TALK-GUN. We're going to be talking about a Ruger. We're going to talk about how to buy your SIGs, Taurus. I'm looking at all the calls here. A lot of calls coming in. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
One machine, one operator. Each machine is run by a single pair of hands. Hands that spend all day, every day, learning the machine inside and out. We don't believe in quotas. The point is crafting faultless ammunition, no matter how long that takes. It's not quick or easy. Being the best never is. Black Hills Ammunition. It started with our hands.
Hey everyone, I'm Doug Koenig, winner of more than 60 national and world shooting championships. You know what? I'm here to tell you that the only thing I like better than competitive matches with high-powered pistols and better than hunting big white-tailed deer is watching NRA Freedom Friday presented by Cheaper Than Dirt on the Pursuit Channel. It's true what they say. Pursuit Channel delivers the outdoors.
The new Walther PPX offers a smooth trigger, ambidextrous magazine release, 3 integral safeties, rugged construction, and the famous Walther ergonomic grip. All this at a great price. Right now, get a free magazine, holster, and dual mag pouch when you purchase a PPX. Feel the perfect fit of the Walther PPX at your local gun dealer or go to WaltherArms.com for more information. That's WaltherArms.com.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
In November, a few races for U.S. Senate could determine whether more anti-gun laws are in our future and whether your rights will be infringed. Will be infringed. Don't risk your rights. The future of gun rights is in your hands. Be a gun voter. #GunVote. For more information, visit gunvote.org. Gunvote.org.
You don't need a smartphone to listen to Gun Talk online. Just log on to guntalk.com and click the Listen tab for options that'll let you listen right on your computer. Here again, Tom Gresham as Gun Talk continues.
All right, back with you. Of course, I went long on the last segment, so we're going to be short on this one. We're going to do everything we can. Let's get to line 2. John's with us out of North Dakota. Hey, John, what's on your mind here?
Hey, let's put it this way. I know why people from Minnesota shoot each other out of their own tree stands and out of their own houses. I'm watching 9, maybe 10 guys. Apparently nobody knows what the max effective range of a 12 gauge is because they literally, looks like the OK Corral. They literally have surrounded themselves, running a dog out in the center, and all of them can't be more than 100 yards apart at the most. Actually, probably closer to 50 on a good day.
Well, you know, it's that's one of the reasons I'm particularly careful about who I hunt with. And I, you know, honestly, if you find yourself in the middle of one of those things, the thing to do is to, and I've done this before, find an excuse to leave. You say, hey guys, I just remembered a previous appointment, or my wife just called me, I got to go. Don't be in the middle of those things. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. And look, I appreciate that. Thank you, Dustin. Let's see here. I want to go to Dan on line 3 out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, Dan.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
Got a question. I'm thinking about moving my gun safe from the closet to another room. I'm just wondering, is there a temperature and a humidity that I need to watch for outside the entire room and then more specifically inside the safe?
If it's going to be inside the house or it's going to be out like in a garage?
In the house.
In the house where it's air conditioned, I wouldn't worry about it. It's, you know, as I always say, if you're comfortable, they're comfortable in there. The one thing I would say for anybody who has a gun safe, take the guns out about every 3 months, wipe them all down with a good rust preventative something or other, and just put them back in. It gives you a chance just to check on them. But if you're inside the house, it's not humid, it's not hot, it's going to be fine. I wouldn't worry about it. Now, if you're keeping them out in the garage, that's one thing. If you keep them in an attic or some other place where it's higher humidity, that's when you got to really ramp up the protection. You get the vapor barrier chips from Brownells and sprinkle those around the inside of the safe, or get the stuff. Liberty Safe has all kind of stuff to put in there. Rust is the enemy, as you know. Listen, appreciate the call. 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back with more Gun Talk.
Gun Talk stands for safety, personal responsibility, and common courtesy. To be a part of the show, call 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Gun Talk will be right back.
back at you here. Line 4, Bruce is with us out of Ashland, Oregon. Hey, Bruce, what you looking at here?
Hello, Tom. I was wondering if anybody, if you know, has plans on making a rifle and or handgun in 460, 454, 45, and 410. Perhaps like a judge or the judge rifle, circuit judge or whatever they call that. I know Rossi has one of those revolver rifles also. And also, would it be possible to do it in a lever rifle?
Well, anything's possible. You're not going to see the 460 Smith & Wesson chambered in the judge. They just couldn't handle the pressure. It's not designed for that. I see the Thompson Center has its Encore Pro Hunter. They've got that little, boy, that'd be fun. That little rifle of theirs, chambered for the 500 Smith & Wesson or the 460. Seems that I remember, I can't remember if I have seen a lever action. Boy, that's a lot of pressure. Those are 60,000 PSI, really, really, really high pressure cartridges. I just don't know if they can do that or not. Certainly you can do it a bolt. You can do it in a single shot. Revolver, sure, Smith & Wesson's got the revolver, in the 460 and the 500. So you've got that, but I don't know if you could put it in something else. You're certainly not going to stick it in a judge. I don't think that's going to work. What are you thinking? What do you want to do with it?
I want to do it a little bit longer and put 410 shells in it, and then make it into a rifle.
Well, of course, I see. But, what that does, it also robs you of the opportunity to have more guns. So.
Well, no, it doesn't, because I buy many guns anyway.
Okay, you're my kind of guy. That's right. Where there's a will, there's a way. We're always willing to buy another gun. Thanks, Bruce. That's not going to happen. But, just get yourself a Smith revolver. And also, you might want to take a look at, if you just want to go a little bit crazy, you got the Thompson Center. I think that would be a very cool little single-shot rig with a powerful cartridge. That would be fun. All right, let's see here. Dean, line 2, Pittsburgh, PA. You going on a commercial airliner, or you did? Give me a report here.
No, my range report, Tom, is that I got to fly to Vegas a couple weeks ago, and I took my handguns with me to continue practicing for a match that was coming up. And it's a very simple process to check your firearms. The first point of contact is with the ticket agent. You kind of show them, you kind of lock up your case. TSA checks it over for explosives, and it's on its way, and it's then hand delivered to the baggage part wherever you are going to land. Mm-hmm. And if anybody out there is hesitant to go and fly with your handgun, please don't be. It's a very simple process.
It really is. It's not a big deal. Now, obviously, if you were going to be going through New York, that would cause me concern, because I don't want to get grounded there and then have them say, well, here's your bag, and you're going, okay, now I've got a handgun, I'm in New York, it's a problem, and we know what happens there. But for most times, most places, I agree with you, checking a firearm on an airline is not a big deal. I do it with shotguns, rifles, and handguns. And then obviously, you got to make sure that you're legal where you're going if you're going to have a carry gun, and that's just reciprocity. You're going to check on that, so that'll work for you. Hold on just a second here. Sorry about the cough. I'll tell you what, when we come back, we're going to talk about this Operation Choke Point. This is the U.S. government's, actually the Department of Justice program that went around and told banks, there are just certain businesses you probably don't want to be seen doing business with, like pornography and gun stores. And so banks said, we're going to drop you guys. You're a gun store? We don't want to get sideways with DOJ or the bank regulators. And they're basically choking off gun business. Well, a United States congressman is paying attention. We're going to have the news when we talk to him about what's going on. Be right back.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.